But they're going through a lot of reserve time discussing this one. They do have last pick here on Sadboys. They might just be trying to figure out what they're most worried about, whether or not they're. I think at this stage you're trying to decide between a deny pick and something that owns, and they end up taking
God
the
damn it.
CM. Just can't miss today.
I have these. I don't know what it is, man. I have been feeling it these last couple days. When I watch a lot of Dota, I can get in the zone and kind of figure out these drafts. And then when I go to play the game, my entire brain implodes and I make terrible decisions. I can't pick the right heroes. I can't draft anything. I don't know, man.
Definitely get worse at Dota after like watching pro matches and casting for a little while. I've tested this theory a number of times.
Really? I mean, I went and, like I said, I told you the other night, I finally went out and got to play my first game of Dota in almost a month.
How'd you do?
Oh, I got slaughtered. It was bad. Valve matchmaking, very nice. We went against
your draw.
Yeah, that was my Drow Ranger game where we were against a rank 60 mid lane.
Oh, I know this guy. This is Albino Zebra. He was on the last team that I managed.
Yeah.
Against a bunch of Immortal players, it looks like.
Yeah, two of them were Smurths too. Yeah, it was nice.
Who's the rank 60? I don't recognize Limbo. He might have changed his name to something else. But yeah, you're playing against several Smurfs and one of my friends.
Yeah, it was a good one. I recognized Albino Zebra. I knew who that was. And then I was like, oh, rank 60 and 2 Smurfs? Very cool. The Timber Saw, though, manages to sneak through once again for Thunder Predator. Sacred, man. He's just a happy boy this whole tournament. He's like, ooh, I get to play Timber Saw again. Woohoo.
He had a bit of a rough start to that last one. I mean, he ended up getting like baited out and blown up a couple of times. It's a bit harder for them to do it this game, but Clockwork Viper, I think they'll still be able to get that job done, right?
Yeah, you do have that. Viper, obviously very good into the Timber. A little bit of a deny pick as well since they wanted to go for the Spectre, but now you still need you need to have damage coming out of your mid lane if it's not the Viper here, because there's not enough so far on the side of Sadboys to deal with Timber Saw or Leshrac for that matter.
10 seconds remain.
Spectre does do a lot with Blade Mail. That's about it. Right now, a lot of their damage is going to come from Blade Mails, and I wouldn't be surprised if Viper picked one up as well this game. I could see double Blade Mail here. It actually would do a lot of work.
All right, so they've got Clockwork and Spectre who can sort of frontline, but they need a solution that I was about to say Kunkka would have been a great solution, but they banned it out just now. So they would need a frontline and somebody who can do a lot of damage and also has control. Kunkka would have filled all of those boxes. With between Boat, Torrent Storm being fairly tanky.
5 seconds remain.
And Tidebringer as well. They've got very few things that perfectly round out the draft now on Sadboys. I like my brain functions a little bit better when I look at an entire hero list, which unfortunately we don't have access to unless I just tab out and look at a window.
I like the PA ban here a lot. It's just such a good hero, and you don't want to risk that potential into the Spectre here.
Doom for Sadboys.
You're right. Actually, that is the pick, 100%.
That's got to be the pick. That's got to be it.
Dude, Neph's brain is actually so huge. If
are activated.
Doom mid would be so good, actually.
It would be very powerful here, or running it into wherever Enchantress is going, just gobbling up the creep that she's going to take. It would round out the draft perfectly. But it's less popular in North America. I've seen it a lot in China. It was like first pick, first banned when I was casting Perfect World like 3 weeks ago now.
I mean, they're looking for the safe lane here on Thunder Predator unless they want to safe lane the Leshrac, but there's not a lot left, and you're going into a Viper. 1 second. You got to pick something. The Jug, once again. Why not?
You're a samurai when you're in doubt, you guys. Mars has actually made it through until now as well.
You can't play this game with a Mars, I don't think.
I mean, Mars is... I think Doom is better here, but Mars is at the forefront of everybody's mind, and it's something you fall back on if you can't think of something else to play, either in the mid or the off lane.
I'm with you on the Doom, man. This is an incredible Ags Doom game. I mean, he just has Blink BKB Ags. Like, what do you do to stop this Doom from just running over your team?
I'm sure you'll get the Ags because it's only really going to make it easy to blow up the Timber Saw. But for all the other reasons mentioned, yeah, Doom seems fairly solid. Either way, 5 seconds left. Moment of truth here by Sadboys. How you getting around this one out, PPD? Okay.
So it is going
Grab
to be the mid Viper then, I'm assuming. Yeah, DNM
Yeah.
Viper. So Night Stalker is one of those heroes that naturally counters the Juggernaut, right? That's one of the Manta style, all those Blade Fury things that allow you to just have survivability. They don't matter against Night Stalker.
Yes. The Juggernaut, this is an issue with all the silences they had in the last game, right? They had the global silence. They had Orchid on Moo. There was the last word. Not really going to be something MNZ is able to get out of. So somebody's going to either have to force staff him out, or he's going to be forced to buy a BKB on Juggernaut, which doesn't feel very good.
Yeah, you've got to rely on your teammates in a situation like that, right? If you're to the Juggernaut, just hope that you can stand your ground or get enough distance between you and the Night Stalker, and that your allies can save you. But yeah, this is I think a better draft from Sadboys this time. I think we both favored Thunder Predator's draft last game for the most part.
I thought they've rounded the draft out with the Juggernaut quite nicely. You had a decent thing going for you with PPD on the pause 5 silencer, but yeah, I did favor the draft with Thunder Predator a little bit. It was basically their game to win there on Sadboys. I mean, don't get me wrong, they definitely turned things around the last second on TP. This game, though, Sadboys looking just a little bit stronger, and it might give them the edge they need to close out this game, or Leo Style could just run away with this on the left track, start blowing up these early towers and limit the space they have to farm on the map. We'll have to see.
Yeah, I think a lot of this game has to come down to this mid lane Viper and this off lane Night Stalker. Fear, yes, you're playing Spectre, but if your other heroes aren't making a lot of space for you, you're just going to get ran over by this Timbersaw Leshrac like you're talking about. There's going to be no space left to farm.
Yeah. All right, PPD, he's feeling pretty confident already, dropping these all chat lines. Snaking, I want to keep my eye on him this game. I mean, he had an incredible performance yesterday on the Clockwork.
It's pretty good at dealing with Timbersaw as well. So Timber, you can't really Timber chain out of the cogs. The cogs will interrupt it every time. Also, battery assault makes it pretty difficult in the first place.
Yeah, assault. You just learned how hugely battery assault scales yesterday, did you not?
Yeah, 20 to 45. What an incredible ability.
And it's one of the reasons why he's gotten a lot more popular. Just those buffs. They've nerfed Rocket Flare as well, but he's going to go down to start.
Yeah, I don't know how you get out of this one unless Sacred can just help soak up a lot of this damage, and they are going to be able to do that in Enchant. As well as the Timbersaw. He's going to be able to get another Whirling Death off here. PPD does have this Crystal Nova.
He's not willing to commit the mana.
They could try and turn around onto the Tiny, but they're a little bit afraid. They're pinging him out now. Snaking. Debating on going in, but with the Enchantress somewhat nearby, it's a little bit more difficult. Dude, Snaking is just going to duel this out by himself. 2v1, the dagger as well. They're pinging out. Can they get the Enchantress, the enchant on the mark? Crystal Nova is going to be able to slow them down, but Snaking, he's got the boots. He's going to be able to close the gap. He's going to get first blood. Oh my goodness. Snaking Clockwork. He said it. He had a phenomenal game yesterday, and he's off to a fantastic start now.
So that's what's he gonna? I think he's sending himself out
Windlace.
Place? Where is it? Where's his courier?
Yeah, it's on the courier right now. He's gonna wait until he can get the Ring of Regen. He's only 25 gold off.
Yeah,
and then you just start the game with Tranks. Very nice.
Good. He's gonna have some mana problems as well, though. He's sitting at only 150 left, but I think he continue to make MJZ's life miserable as soon as he pokes his head around these trees. There it is.
Oh my goodness. Well, he managed to fog him, and that will miss the battery assault, so he's pretty okay about that.
Actually, battery assault goes through fog.
Does it? Oh, well, then I don't know how that missed.
I think he just barely stepped outside of the range there. Fog, it works in some very weird ways with the number of heroes in this game. You can actually toss heroes who are inside fog as well. Believe it or not. Nobody ever does it because it's a melee range spell.
Yeah. That's kind of funny. Like, you're just standing on opposite sides of a tree.
Yeah. And then you can toss them even if you don't know they're there.
So Night Stalker is going to be forced to TP back to his tier 1 tower because Enchant Blade Fury is such a difficult combo. And... it's not the best lane for the Night Stalker early on, but we always talk about, the nighttime. Once you get to level 5 on the Night Stalker, During first night, your hero becomes so much stronger. The 3 points in Void, usually the 2 points in Hunter in the night, or vice versa. Either way, you end up having so much kill potential, and you can farm really fast.
But at the cost of being a little bit weaker at the start of the laning phase.
Yeah.
Top lane, I want to touch on that even as much as I'll keep my eyes peeled on Schofield, or sorry, God, I call him Snake King. I'll keep my eyes peeled on Snake King, but I want to look at top lane. He actually gets tossed up here on Fear, dropping pretty low. He's gonna be fine though. He's got double ring of regen. He's got Tangos active. He's underneath the tower. He's regenerating 15 HP a second.
Very nice. Nice item build there. Thank you. He's only got 5 CS though. He is super struggling on this Spectre right now, and there are a couple creeps under tower, which you should be able to clean up, but I mean, not the start you want to have on a Spectre by any means.
No, things have been a little bit difficult for him, but Tiny's had to commit a lot of his mana already.
Oh, Sacred denying the range creep. That attack animation is just so fast.
It's counted as elderly abuse.
In my mid lane, ooh, Leo style. He's going to survive just barely. DNM or walking him under the tower. Now, one thing I didn't consider is the Arcane Aura with Viper, because Viper's poison attack is so much mana, but when you have an Arcane Aura, it's a lot more spammable.
Yeah. It's
he might go down, but all right, he's going to stand his ground here on DNM. He's going to be fine. Did he TP and he just TPs in and clarities him. All right, nice.
Thank you very much.
I was expecting the salve, but ended up just being a clarity. He does have a ward here to scout Clockwork, so there's no way you're going to get this wraparound onto Leo style. As much as you want.
Yeah. In fact,
he knows there's a ward now. Yeah, he got hit by tower.
Because of that one right there. He was testing it right there. Nice play there by Snake King. Like we said, it's very skilled Clockwork player, very skilled Dota player. Top lane, I thought CM was getting gone on, but I was wrong.
Sacred does not concern himself with the Crystal Maiden. His only goal, killing creeps and fear.
Just what I needed.
Well, Night Stalker forced to TP to his tower once again. I mean, this is just what's going to happen. There's no way to cancel the TP without, you know, like an enchanted centaur or something. So as long as he doesn't see, unless he sees that, he's pretty safe to play aggressively in the lane.
Yeah.
They're going to go for the D ward now. Snake King knows it's here somewhere. We'll grab it. Gotta love it, man. That is like the best feeling, just getting a free D ward as a support. You're like, oh, so much experience.
Tucker, I think he's finally sending himself out boots. Yeah.
Are you talking about Moo? Yeah, you need to.
Nice.
First item you always have to build against a Juggernaut is boots. And bottom lane, he might go down before he can get these boots delivered, and he knows it. Doing whatever damage he can back to the Juggernaut, I suppose, but it's not going to stick, as you like to say.
Scanning for enemies.
Yeah. Unfortunately, you got still Tangos, you got a healing ward available. A 3.7 HP regen a second. When it comes back, it's going to be nighttime. He might just rotate to a different lane.
No, I think he needs to go back bottom. I don't know if you can afford to go to a different lane. You can go back bottom. You can punish Enchantress for coming back to the lane as well. And you can get out of Blade Fury now. So I think he's fine playing down there as long as he doesn't get pulled too far out of position. DNM mid, gotta be careful. He actually misses the split earth, and now Viper toss into the air, pops a fairy fire, but he's not gonna survive. Leo style, barely living through it, but Clockwork's gonna run him down. Widge just chasing PPD, does get caught by the Frostbite, does have a Crystal Nova as well, but MJZ rotates in. Snake King, he's gotta run. Mana burn there, but he does have a Mango. BPD gets tossed on top of. Enchant not available, but he does have Impetus. There's going to be the Avalanche, and Widge is going to get another kill in the mid lane.
HP dropping incredibly low, but it doesn't really matter. I imagine he'll just either suicide or head back to base. What?
Wait. What? I just don't know. Okay, he just stayed there, and Enchantress's creep denies the DD rune, and Viper might get, he might have been baiting this himself. No, it doesn't look like he has Viper Strike up available quite yet, so a lot of damage actually dealt to this Viper in the process.
Leo's dog gives a tip out to PPT.
Here might go down top. Chakram is going to miss, so he's going to survive for the time being. The double ring of regen gets another set of tangos delivered. And I'm not sure if you noticed, but Night Stalker bottom is now having a pretty decent time. Able to zone MNZ off the lane just for a little bit, but with the Enchantress down here, I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, I think MNZ is just going to run at Moo the moment he gets the opportunity to drop this Omni Slash onto him.
Dire's top tower is under
Centaur's, the creeps, animals of nature are just on his side here, stomping out MNZ, making his life a little bit more difficult. But Moo, he's got a lot of armor actually, 7 and almost not.
What? Widge, rotation up, avalanche, toss, just melts him with the help of the Timber Saw. Okay, that'll make sense.
That will do it. Oh, Fear. He's, I don't know, he's just getting zoned. He's really struggling to get any CS in this lane. 31 is not where you want to be.
I mean, CS-wise, it's favoring Thunder Predator pretty heavily. DNM, the only one having a good time. Snake King's going to get a D-ward here, as you saw them place it, basically. But, I mean, Moo, you have level 6. I feel like you've got to do something, but they can't get to this healing ward. Pinging out the Enchantress, but I don't know, man. It feels like it's just slowly going in favor of Thunder Predator, and he takes down Fear's Courier. Gonna toss him on over to that Timber Saw. It takes so much harassment damage here. Does have 11 wand charges, but Sacred just doesn't care. Again, he is just top net worth on this offlane Timber Saw, having a free game mid lane. Leo style, however, gonna go down to PPD and Viper.
Yeah. I mean, that one kind of sucks. Every time he goes for the rune, they've just been on top of it on Sadboys, so Leshrac can't take advantage of that. That seems to be Leo Style's biggest weakness, is just at these bounty runes, seems to get baited, and PPD ends up bringing him down in conjunction with DNM.
Fear top lane trying to do his best. The 4 points in dispersion, just limiting so much of this damage. The regen under tower as well. Sacred pops a clarity to try and get some mana, but now he's And Fear is just going to continue to try and sit here, soak experience. One of the things is, with this safe lane Spectre, no other carry could do this. Like, there's not another carry that could just sit in this lane like this and still get experience somehow.
Yeah, but it's, at the same time, also not what you want. I don't think you should have gone for these power treads for...
Ooh, goodbye. Can it soak on over to the Moo? It does for a little bit, but it bounces on back. DNM TP to the bottom lane. Should be able to finish off Widge pretty easily. You're just going to Blade Fury TP out on the Jug now. And he goes top of all lanes to get away from this Viper, and he's going to maybe try and offer some kill threat onto Fear here.
He'll have to have his healing ward pop first. His HP is sitting way too low.
All
Fear
right.
could just walk a Spectral Dagger right now. Actually, MNZ could just spin on top of him. I take that back. Let's see it. He's hesitant.
He has a Haunt at least, and so he has that way to get on out. Fear just slowed so much. Leo style split Earth off the mark. Trying their darndest to get this guy, but he will just TP on home. So close. But in comes Moo. Dark Ascension doesn't have Crippling Fear, but oh my gosh, that burst damage onto that Leshrac. Jeez, I was actually not expecting that. 4 points in the void here on Moo. A nice Avatar's going to find PPD, but there's the Haunt. The Crippling Fear is there. They're going to be able to bring down the Juggernaut. This is a huge kill for them, and Moo, he's going to be able to keep chasing Widge. No way out. Does have those 4 points in void. The bottle keeping him alive. But that's a big rotation.
Yeah, bringing down Juggernaut second on the net worth just a moment ago, I feel. 500 XP going their way, 300 gold. Not bad. They lost PPD at the start of that one, but he barely even managed to find exchange that with other heroes.
Spectre gets caught mid lane. The Avalanche, the toss, they're doing some serious damage. The Pulse Nova as well, but he gets caught by a hookshot, and now Leshrac, he's dead as well. And the Enchantress unable to zone away from this DNM Viper, as he's just going to get himself another kill and TP home with these Boots of Travel. Oh my gosh, Viper is so farmed. In 2 fights, he just catapulted to top net worth.
That's not bad. He had a bit of a rough go at it at first, but now he's doing great, hitting 6-1. I mean, part of this comes down to how easy PPD has made this mid lane with his rotations, though, making sure you get absolutely nothing here as far as rune goes on the Leshrac. I feel as if there was some like unlucky 50-50s there. You didn't have time on PPD to secure those power runes. And
they're looking for Sacred top. The Viper Strike, they can break them. The amount of magic damage, all in all, might be too much here for the Timber Saws, even an earn to boot. Snaking snipes him with that flare. I mean, this is the thing. You know, Timbersaw is one of those heroes, like, needs to snowball and just really crush this this game early on, and Viper doing it instead.
Dire should look to their middle tower.
This is something we were worried about from the start. Viper and Clockwork are able to just completely ruin Timbersaw's game. Yes, he did shut down Fear. He did a great job, but these last couple of kills just causing the game to rubber band back in favor of Sadboys ever so slowly.
They're failing so hard at contesting these power rooms. I mean, like you said, DNM's been able to get pretty much every single one thanks to the support rotations. And Leo Style, he can't afford to go for this either. Even with Widge here, like a hook shot into Viper is just instant death. And now bottom lane, they're looking for these rotations. Snaking gonna try and connect. They do have vision thanks to the dagger. The question is, who do you want to go for? The Enchanter is probably the correct decision, as you do have that break for it. And Snaking's just gonna TP out. He's like, later, I'm gonna go mid now, boys.
Yep, he is worried about potential of them turning back on him because he's pretty far forward. As soon as he saw MNZ attacking those power cogs, he knew something was up and just decided to leave. So nice play there by him. MNZ struggling to get much more off of this one. I mean, everyone on Sadboys is down here, and he goes, "All right, well, if I can't kill him, I guess I'll just leave. I'll go to a lane where I can farm freely."
Yeah, and we've talked about this tournament so many times. Moo, he's gonna just Dark Ascension right into the Leshrac. Leo Style, he just TPs into his death here as there's no assistance at all. Oh my goodness. I can't tell if he's had vision off to the, like, of Moo there. But it didn't matter.
No, I don't think he would have done that if he didn't. Leshrac now struggling like hell. Sitting, what is this, 2,000 net worth behind DNM on his Viper.
And they're gonna
the guy
find
needs
Widge.
so many.
Yeah, this is the end of that Night Stalker ultimate, providing all the vision they need to chase down this Tiny once again. Monster kill now for DNM. I mean, these Boots of Travel have been so valued this game, helping him get around the map. I mean, Viper's not a super fast. Why does it say his movement speed is 275? Hello?
Fun.
Click Viper.
Yeah, that is.
That's
He's
just
moving
straight
faster than-
bugged.
Moving faster than that.
Oh yeah, I know. He's 375. Like, his base is 275 and he has Boots of Travel. It's just straight bugged.
It is bug. He's definitely moving faster than 275 right now.
I was like, yeah, he's so fast moving around the map that I click on it. I'm like, wait a minute, what? What does that even mean? He just bought out an Atos.
You are absolutely correct. That is a bug. We are still in a beta right now. I've seen this a couple times with like an Assault Cross as well. It won't actually add the armor, even though it will with damage calculations.
Bottom lane Sacred trying to do some zoning here. I mean, now you have to worry about DNM's Atos because there's no heroes that can really get out of this besides the Juggernaut. Do you have Yules on Leshrac? You do. Timbersaw going for Hood of Defiance, but all of these other heroes like Tiny and Enchantress just died to a Viper if they get found.
And you know, the later this game goes, I think they're in a better place with the matchup they have. Spectre, of course, just being the king of the late game, or queen rather, of the late game. Juggernaut struggle to fight into him.
It's nighttime for Moo. He's very happy and he's queuing up that Glimmer Cape. So we've seen this build on a handful of different people. Don't really need it from the core position. They're pinging out Leo Style, but he sees it. They have a nice high ground ward there. They ping it out immediately like, guys, they've got to have vision. And Snaking gonna flare it out. Well done, sir. And he's gonna see the sentry as well.
Bottom tower is no more.
Leo Style continues to farm up the jungle here.
Moo's got Dark Ascension. I don't know if he even needs it, though. He's just going to use the Void. There's going to be the Crippling Fear. Unable to get any spells off, and the Atos comes in inside of the Clockwork. Yeah, there's nothing you can do there. I'm surprised he stuck around. He had to know they had vision.
I think that he's just trying to find something, anything to do on the map. I mean, we're seeing a repeat of last game right now.
Moo takes a lot of damage in the mid lane, but DNM just doesn't care. The Atos onto the Timbersaw. They're trying to do what they can. MJZ, can he get Moo? It's not going to happen. Too much magic damage. WIJ goes down as well. Godlike spree for the Viper.
And this is something that happened this game. It didn't happen the last. DNM was struggling a little bit on the Invoker. It felt like he really fell off with his net worth. But this game, he gets to do all the damage.
There's no way. They got him. He just shows himself. Thought he'd be fine, but they have so much magic damage between these heroes.
In this game, it's going to be a lot more of a struggle. Juggernaut isn't the same solution to your lineup here on the Sadboys that he was in the last game. I mean, the Crippling Fear is going to come out. He's going to stand on top of you. And Spectre's going to beat you down.
You still have to go for this Manta style. Now Fear bottom lane. I mean, they're going to turn on him, but he has Blade Mail still if he wants to use it. He's going to go ahead and activate it. Moo. Dark Ascension, and guess what? DNM TPing into those creeps. There's going to be the Hunt providing a bunch of extra vision. Fear just jaunts on over, and they'll just take down the 2 kills and a tower now if they want. Like, Fear can just stay down here and keep pushing this tower.
Just kill after kill, and if you look up the net worth, win probability, XP graphs here, just suddenly taking a hike towards the direction of Sadboys here. 90% it's dire. We did see this exact same thing happening last game, but again, Night Stalker, Moo this game, all he's got to do is stay on top of this Juggernaut with that Crippling Fear.
Yeah, I believe Twitch chat memes call that a downward-facing graph. Sacred mid lane. He has no way out again from the hookshot into the Nether Toxin. He's just silenced. He's taking so much damage. The break not allowing to build these reactive armor stacks, and a beyond godlike spree now for DNM. They just have no answer for this Viper.
Oh, the only person who can get on top of him is MNZ, but
Avalanche toss back. We talking big stocks about this Viper, and he finally goes down and is a massive kill bounty inside those cogs. They will be able to get 1 PP. Immediately cancels his ultimate as there's not much help. MNZ is just going to chop down that Clockwork. 2 quick kills there for the side of Thunder Predator. Doesn't end up giving them a ton, though. That ends up being massive. Never mind. So much golden XP from that Viper.
The XP especially, 3,500 they got at the end of that team fight, a swing of like, was it almost 2,000.
Hey,
yeah,
look at MNZ.
Gold not a ton. MNZ, yeah, he's sitting at the top of the net worth chart right now, but it doesn't change the fact that he is not the same solution that he was in that last game. Spectre will outcarry him, and Night Stalker, he's going to have a very easy time shutting down these Swift Slash and Omni Slashes that he had coming out last game just by sitting on him with the Crippling Fear. I think eventually he's going to be forced to build a BKB on the Juggernaut. Not really something you want to do on this hero.
Yeah, he'll have no choice but to get a BKB eventually. Tiny trying to do what he can, dropping wards into the jungle, but doesn't end up getting it placed before PPD scouts him out. So, no D ward coming out there. But they'll certainly take the kill.
Yeah. Things got a little bit better for them after that last team fight, but not by much.
Ooh, Moo, he's coming in. He's got Dark Ascension, going to commit it immediately, and the Timber Saw again rooted inside of this Nether Toxin. He just has no way out. He's dead once again. The hook shot, it's going to end up catching the Enchantress. They don't want to go all the way onto that Leshrac. Not enough follow-up damage there, and they'll just take down the Enchantress instead. Focus on this tier 1 tower thanks to Moo's Dark Ascension, and he's on his way to an Aghanim Scepter now.
Moo?
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about that one, but I guess it does make it pretty easy for him to stay on top of these heroes. I mean, if not Juggernaut, then Leshrac, the Aghanim Scepter will just keep everybody locked into place.
Yeah, it is. I mean, there's a lot of damage that comes out from these voids in these team fights. He went to the 45 void damage at 10, and it does provide a mini stun as well, which is pretty cool. So
turn mini stun to a 0.5 second stun.
Yeah,
everyone around.
So a good control ability for sure. You farm faster as well, which maybe they're afraid of the potential late game scenario against MNZ's Juggernaut once again. Who knows?
Yeah, I do think Fear has the advantage the later this one goes, but he's still doing a decent job with his own farm. I mean, look, all this guy needs to farm is Blade Mail. He farms up the entire Ancients. They all basically kill themselves by the time he brings down the first one with his auto attacks. It is absolutely ridiculous.
I wanted to click back at Viper and see if his movement speed's been fixed, and it still hasn't. Fear, he's just going to go ahead, haunt on over to this Enchantress, the Manta style, baby. There it is, that pure damage Desolate. Too dang much. DMN actually ends up being the one that grabs the kill.
I think just the poison attack there is what finished him off.
They haven't decided to make a rotation into Roshan. I'm assuming they're waiting for next night or that Dark Ascension to come off cooldown because they have the Spectre Manta, right? Something that you and I have seen a lot in recent tournaments where that's kind of like your go sign for the Roshan.
Yeah. I think a lot of the... now, this is going to sound kind of funny. I think a lot of the time, whoever's calling the shots and captaining the team changes as the game goes on. But I imagine PPD is still making the calls right now. So regardless of you having that Manta style completed on Fear. If PP doesn't call for the Roche, you don't do the Roche.
Look at Snake King. Force
Snake King.
Spirit Vessel. It's done on the Clockwork.
It's beautiful.
So
This is
Leshrac
all
has a Yule's. Timbersaw is working on a Yule's, but doesn't have it quite yet. And I mean, his game, we've seen how bad it is already. Enchantress is never getting anything to remove this. Neither is Tiny. So this is an incredible Spirit Vessel game. It's going to do so much work this game. The smoke on the backside, I don't think they saw it. Just out of vision, barely. MJZ walks up. Widge going to do an Avatos onto PPD, but he's going to be able to survive thanks to that Glimmer Cape. Will end up falling in the end. Fear trying to man fight this up. The illusions just aren't doing much of anything. The Spirit Vessel just doing so much work as it just melts Timbersaw and the Enchantress. And MNZ, he has to run. Doesn't get a chance to use an ultimate. There's too many units there. The Fear illusions as well, just too much. Widge, however, getting chased further and further by Moo. Looks like they're not going to continue that chase.
PPD more than happy to give himself up for those two heroes there. And that was like a favorable initiation there for Thunder Predator. They managed to catch PPD by surprise, but regardless of that, they still lose that team fight. Thunder Predator just struggling to find a foothold back in this game. It does get a little bit easier once you get the Aghanim Scepter on Jog with that Swift Slash, jumping onto both Clockwork and Crystal Maiden. But by then, Snake King, he's gonna have this Ghost Scepter. You're not gonna be able to kill him again.
Yeah. DNM has a BKB now. I love this build. Like we saw his one death there, which ended up throwing a lot of experience and gold the other way, but he really does need to survive in these fights. I'm assuming we might see like a Hurricane Pike come out later. Just tank up more damage, longer attack range, just overall a great item on the Viper. He's currently sitting with a Nether Shawl as well. Tier 2 top goes down? Wow, that's surprising.
Yeah, it'll open up the outpost. I don't imagine they'll be able to hold that one for long, but I think right now they're just completing a couple other items, not quite at the power spike on Sadboys, so they don't want to fight into them. Fear getting this Eye of Scotty is incredibly important. If he can get the plus 50% slow on that one, then he's just able to stay on top of Leshrac in these team fights, regardless of him having BKB complete.
First Roche goes to Thunder Predator instead. They take the top tower, they take the outpost, and then they take Roche. And it looks like sleep at the wheel here maybe, as they didn't really expect that to happen, but without it, Dark Ascension or it being nighttime, it is very hard to fight into it.
Yeah, MNZ still under 700 gold away from this Eggs. Big tool that he needs, and Fear 1,000 gold away from his Eye of Scotty. That's going to be when it's go time for Sadboys again, once that one's completed.
Yeah, it will be indeed. PPD, yeah, just doesn't really have much. He's going to go Ags on the Viper, so he's just going to go for that reduced cooldown, the increased cast range, and mana cost on that Viper Strike, which it ends up being quite substantial. Oop, Dark Ascension's out. They managed to find the Timbersaw once again. He's still silenced. The break and the Manta from Fear just chewing right through him, and now they're looking for the Enchantress and Leo style. I think they're going to settle for that Enchantress Leo style just a little bit too fast. They'll take those 2 kills real quick. The Dire Vision, though, I mean, you got to be careful. Night Stalker gives you so much flying vision. If anyone shows, might go for the kill. He's pinging out top. He knows where this Leshrac is going. Dark Ascension about to expire. He does see Leo style, though, right at the end as he 4-steps up. Oh, he has no Yule. Does have BKB, though. The Atos comes in. Leo style on the run. He will just try and go with that split earth, but they're chasing this down. They do a lot of damage. That BKB, it's going to expire. He's going to go for the TP Widge underneath the tower. Does get the blink. But guess who's there? It's Oh, they caught DNM Jug? Wait a minute. He does have the Ags, but this Aegis, they can't afford to lose it that fast. The Blade Fury plus that bonus move speed is going to get him out, but the Tiny not going to be as lucky. Timbersaw's in. They don't have the Leshrac quite yet. There's going to be the Swift Slash on over to PPD. He just gets destroyed. Moo goes in with a big crippling bear, but your boys have backed. You're full health. That healing ward topping off everybody on the side of Thunder Predator.
They couldn't quite manage to bring down several of those heroes there. And that's just the fact that they didn't find time to take that top tier 1. Beautiful play there by Tiny, putting his body on the line for both Leshrac and Juggernaut in that fight.
Well, they caught Leo style in the mid lane, it seems, and uses that Yule's to try and give himself some space, but then there's no save for your own hero.
Yep. And this is a bit of a problem from lack of vision. You didn't think they'd end up rotating onto the Leshrac there. You thought that they'd go back in their own jungle. Juggernaut was trying to chase them, but he gets nothing from this, and is just forced to disengage with that Blade Fury. He's got the +1 movement speed from it.
All right. I mean, they have plenty of vision with this Night Stalker, but Aghanim's completed as well. They're just afraid to fight into this Juggernaut. I mean, he's got this Ags and Omni Slash still available. He's 2,000 gold in front of your Spectre, who does almost have the Eye of Scotty.
Yeah, he just completes it right now. It's on the courier. I imagine they'll send it out to him.
Enchantress. They're not looking for it. Instead, they're focusing on the Juggernaut. They do force the Blade Fury. The NM nearby as well, but they're still unable to get on top of him.
That was bizarre. Fear had his his Eye of Scotty completed for a while, but his courier just wasn't moving.
Oh, weird.
Maybe he forgets where he is sometimes. In his
Good old Twitch chat beam.
What's going on? What team am I playing for?
Dark Ascension. I mean, everything's still available for both teams. There's going to be the Haunt in. They're just going to try to blow up the Enchantress on the backside. She gets those spirits off, but look at Leo style. The BKB just did nothing. And comes a Swift Slash Juggernaut. He's got to get the Omni off if he wants to do anything. It's getting tanked onto the Viper, and now Snake King's going to soak it, but he gets the Force Staff out. Juggernaut Blade Fury's on forward, but Viper, he's got the Nether Shawl, reducing so much of the magic damage. One auto attack, however, finishes it off. It's going to be a 2-for-1 so far. The buyback on the Enchantress. Juggernaut trying to survive through it all. He will finally lose his first life, but Fear, he's somewhat close. They got to be careful. This Juggernaut is very scary. He's got that Swift Slash, that Aghanim Scepter doing some serious work in these fights. DNM's down.
Just barely managing it. DNM at the tail end of that fight, almost managing to get that disengage. Juggernaut, you know, he, like you said, he is very scary, but they're doing a pretty good job kiting him in these fights. That Aghanim Scepter on Viper, you know, just the very low cooldown, throwing out that Viper Strike. What is it? Once every, how many, 10 seconds? Yeah, if he can throw that onto Jug, I mean, that Ghostly Magic community, he won't be able to chase anybody down, even with that +100 movement speed on his spin.
Yeah, the Viper Strike is pretty dang good. I'm a little bit... this is the scenario where I was like saying I think it would have been nice to have the Hurricane Pike here, because you just, you know, you don't die to the Jug in that scenario. But they're going to try and go in anyway. The Sentry immediately dropped. Moog just going to silent or hit him with this AoE Void, and Enchantress trying to hold their attention while Fear runs for everyone else on the backside. Does have that Blade Mail, but I mean, okay, that's a way to take down the Enchantress. Why not commit the Freezing Field? You ain't using it on anywhere else.
Yeah, a lot of the time it's just going to be interrupted from either Leshrac or the timing with this Avalanche, the massive AoE of that stun. So.
Hook shot. They managed to catch the left. They're able to push him back as well. The Swift Slash absorbed by that Ghost Scepter. Sacred goes in. He's inside the Nether Toxin and rooted the Timbersaw. He's got to get out of here. Sacred's going to go down again. This Timbersaw has had no game.
No, not for the last, like, 19 minutes here. After the 10-minute mark passed, and he shut down Fear in the laning phase. He's had nothing. Snake King, amazing initiation there, saving his team from that initial Swift Slash to the Juggernaut, popping the Ghost Scepter and getting back up to the high ground with the Force Staff. It's not over yet. Fear, he's getting chased down by the Jug.
There's no Omni for another 10 seconds. He'd love to put it to good use. Viper, I mean, he's sitting back behind them, but they're running down your Night Stalker. He will get the toss out, send Leo style in the Yules into that split earth. It is now daytime. He gets the Crippling Fear off just in time, but Moo, I don't know what you can do here. You're caught by that dust. There's the Omni Slash. A lot tanked, by the way, but it will cleave down PPD. He buys back into the game. MNZ, he has no TP. Oh my gosh, a huge overextension from the Jug.
Did he... What did he use his Omni Slash on? I think he used it on Night Stalker. It got interrupted immediately from PPD's Glimmer Cape onto him.
Well, no, it ended up killing PPD. It just got a lot soaked by the wave. Like, it started here and then ran across, clearing out the creep wave and PPD in the process, but he just buys back. You have no TP out, however, though, so it just ends up really backfiring.
Oh, no, Juggernaut. At the very least, he has buyback available, but he doesn't want to spend that kind of gold. He's saving up for a Butterfly right now, which I feel is incredibly important. It's all physical damage that's burning him down right now.
Neutral items are dropping. The Radiant, I mean, they got Telescope, Orb of Destruction, a Mindbreaker, the Dire, only sitting on this Greater Fairy Fire and the Mindbreaker for Spectre, which we've talked about before being an amazing jungle item for the Spectre. They really need to try and get this tier 2 tower. They've really struggled on taking structures pretty much the whole game. They don't have a great tower hitter, right? You know, Viper, Night Stalker, Spectre, not great at taking towers.
Dire's top tower is
All magical damage. I mean, Spectre would be all right at it, but he doesn't want to put himself out of position and get blown up by any of these heroes. I mean, Tiny could quickly blink himself in and then toss Fear back to the rest of the team here on Thunder Predator.
Managed to finally finish that Agnum Scepter on DNM, which, as you pointed out, a lot of damage coming out. That reduced cooldown, the increased cast range is quite a bit.
Style's still holding on to this faded brooch that he's got. He's had a rough game, this guy. Just getting jumped on by Snake King, Viper. Just unfavorable mid matchup for him, having to deal with that magic resistance on the guy. Night Stalker being on top of him. I mean, a lot of time he's just forced to pop this BKB and disengage.
I mean, Sacred finally finishes his Guardian Greaves at 32 minutes, you know. Like, this has just been such a rough game for the Timbersaw as well, right? You said Leo Style struggling. He gets a BKB done, but it doesn't seem to really matter in these fights as you have an Eye of Scotty Spectre and with a Basher, and she just tunnels you down.
Yep. It's all about MNZ accomplishing as much as he can while you get run down by the Spectre at this point, right? And speaking of MNZ, he's actually opted to skip his spend all of his buyback gold. He doesn't quite have the butterfly completed right now, but he's going all in on aggression. If he goes down here, and my God, Moxie tells me MNZ does go down quite a bit. A lot of Thunder Predator fans get angry at this guy for things like this.
Dark Ascension, they find the jug. Oh my gosh, he cannot afford to die. In comes this. Oh my God, there's no way out of Crippling Fear. He's just gonna die. You just cursed him, brother. What are you doing? Oh my goodness. The hookshot on the mark as well from Snaking, and Moo gonna make quick work of him.
That's rough. I'm sorry. Oh no, MNZ, my man, I am so sorry that happened to you.
Roshan's respawning too.
Aegis and Cheese available now, and there's nothing they'd be able to do to defend this one. At the very least, it'll be a distraction. They won't be heading to push out these lanes while the fortification is down because of this Roshan.
All right, Moo does scout it, so he knows, but he's busy looking for the Enchantress, the Spirit Vessel. I mean, Fear just goes in. He doesn't seem to really care. The Manta Style just destroys that Enchantress, and now Sacred, he's got to be careful. Jesus, if he gets a bash. Oh, the Spirit Vessel out. No bash coming in from Fear. Able to get out on Sacred. Oh, dude, Fear is doing way too much damage now. The Eye of Scotty plus Orb of Destruction. It is just too dang good.
You can't get away from this one anymore. I mean, you still have everybody by like 50%. It's just the Timber Chains. So those get interrupted by the bash. But again, the fact that Roshan is up, the one thing that stops him from just breaking into your base right now.
That and towers.
Your place.
All right, I'm assuming Aegis, Fear, Cheese to DNM most likely. That Courier almost gets the snipe, but nice attempt. Wait, did it get the Cheese?
No.
Okay, no, they didn't. Yeah, it's on DNM. All right, well, 11,000 gold lead now for old Sadboys. Old boys, yeah. No, Sadboys now up 12,000 gold. It is officially nighttime, so Moo is a happy camper going for the Lotus Orb. The Blink Dagger coming in, looking for Sacred as well. Commits the Dark Ascension. DNM rotating in. He's going to be forced to use the Guardian Greaves here and Timber Chain to the low ground. Moo unsure if he wants to continue chasing.
Wish he's just sitting down here, but it being Dark Ascension right now, not going to be able to, not something you want to fight into at the moment. Just wait for this one to expire. Oh
boy, Haunt to the bottom lane. Leo Style, he BKBs. He's going to have to TP out, but Fear, if he gets the bash, the hook shot, oh my gosh, it doesn't even matter. All right, what a sick rotation and a huge gank there from the side of Sadboys. And, you know, Leo Style, they can force his BKB, but he has no, or his buyback, but he has no BKB if he comes back into this fight.
Yeah, again, just having such a rough game on him. If he buys back, I feel like it's just over.
Timbersaw mid lane in some trouble as well. Atos is there. Guardian Greaves going to protect him, but now the Viper Strike comes out. Timber chains himself to safety, but they can continue chasing. Force Staff number 1. Fear trying to close the gap. Force Staff number 2. The hook shot, it comes in. He ends up finding the Enchantress, and Fear should make quick work of this hero. That's exactly what he does. These guys are just killing machines at this point.
MNC trying to find a way into these fights, but it's hard for him to get on the right targets. I mean, PPD, he's got a Ghost Scepter already. Everybody else, they have so much armor and HP. Spectre at 23
Wait,
plus
he just
6.
blinks in and finds the Juggernaut. He's going to have to Manta Style this off. Blade Fury, however, going to get the range there. He's going to be fine. Fear got an Abyssal Blade in this time frame, by the way, so now escaping seems that much more difficult.
There is no escape from Fear. He's got Eye of Scotty. He's got Orb of Destruction. He's got Spectral Dagger. All these things slowing you down. And then he's got Abyssal Blade to close the gap when he's not using Haunt. He's slow moving, but when he gets to your base, I mean, it's going to go down. No one's going to be able to run back to their fountain.
Dude, that Viper Strike damage. Oh my god. I did not think it was that much. Oh, he took the Viper Strike DPS. Okay. Whew.
Yeah.
I was confused. I was like, I don't remember it doing that much damage, but yeah, that makes sense now. You get the D-ward on the high ground. Nice use of the cogs there.
You don't remember it doing, what is it, 1200 damage at this point?
Yeah.
Yeah, on a 10-second cooldown. It's not bad.
That's pretty good. Numbers check out as being pretty decent there.
They get the Timeless Relic as well. Give that to Viper. Pass it over.
Oh my goodness. You can give to Viper or Night Stalker. Both are very strong. Night Stalker
doesn't
having that AoE Void, but I'd imagine it's going to Viper.
Yeah. Hand it over. Put
Yeah,
the
he
Timeless
is.
Relic, egg, PPD, and no one has to get hurt.
Oh yeah, baby. Timeless Relic Viper now. We were just talking about how 1200 damage, but now it's 276 damage a second, plus the increased duration. So it goes from 5 seconds to what, 6.25? Is that how math
Yep.
works?
Yeah. It checks out.
All right, Timbersaw, he might have been found. The Viper Strike comes out. Sacred, you can't purge that off. And in goes Fear, the Abyssal Blade. They're looking for Leshrac. A nice blink forward and a hook shot catching MJZ Leo style. He just BKBs, but look at him. He cannot move. 195 movement speed. Fear taking up the Omni Slash. The Dispersion just kills everybody. Fear, that's only his first life. He has the Aegis, and now Juggernaut on the run. There's going to be the Viper Strike, sir. You are not going to go anywhere, as they are just going to close out this game. 4 heroes dead. Make it a 5th as no heroes go down on the side of Sadboys. And boy, oh boy, a controlling and dominating fight here.
You said it best. There's nothing that they're able to do, and they can bring down Fear once, but they cannot get him twice. No GG's being called. This game just incredibly rough for them. Nobody's saying anything. Buyback, not nearly enough gold for it. They're just going to slowly rip apart their base. They're not going to be able to grab the bottom lane as the tier 2 is still standing down there. But I don't see why the Sadboys haven't just gone in to end this.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the entire Omni Slash was tanked by the Spectre. I'd be really curious to see how much damage the Dispersion was in that fight, because as soon as the Omni Slash started, every hero in the fight's HP just disappeared.
It did about 400 damage to each individual hero when it had met. Something like that anyways. I think it was like 387 onto Leshrac, like 400 and something onto Tiny, only like 200 onto Enchantress because she's sitting a little bit further away, but it was pretty insane. And it all just felt like it was for nothing. Is all you
The blink in the 2-man hook shot once again. Tiny, he's super dead. Sacred trying to get himself out of here with this Guardian Creeps, but there's just too much magic damage coming out from these heroes. And Leo style, he's caught by the Viper Strike. You can't chase after anybody. DNM just kiting them around with this Aghanim Scepter. Not to mention Fear's just sitting here nice and healthy, does not really care, focusing on the barracks of all things. DNM pops his BKB, gonna tunnel down. The Enchantress now is untouchable, doesn't even do anything. The barracks will fall, or the Ancient will fall rather. Sadboys tie it up 1-1 in typical Sadboys fashion here.
Yeah. So something we've seen a lot of this tournament, them tying up series. Last one, I felt as if it was theirs to win, but they did an amazing job turning it around. MNZ, phenomenal performance on that Juggernaut. This time, there was no way to get out of that crippling Fear, and there's several times he got himself caught out without buyback, which was pretty rough. In the end, it didn't really matter the amount of space that his team made for him.
Yeah. You're right. You're just 100% right. They I guess anticipated the Juggernaut this time. They let them pick the Timber Saw, and they had all the answers for it. Right. This DNM Viper, Fear on the Spectre, Moo on the Night Stalker, Snake King, like just an incredible performance in the Clockwork. You know, PPD even as well. Like even if it's just providing the aura and making a couple big rotations early on, like you pointed out to the mid lane, just shutting down Leo style. Like he went 1 in 10 on this Leshrac. When was the last time you saw Leo style with a score like that?
It has been quite some time, but it's just too difficult for him to do anything this game. Clockwork rotating onto him, and Viper, of course, with that base innate magic resistance, him being a ranged hero, hard for him to fight into. Absolute control out of the map. Amazing performance out of DNM and Leo style. I feel as if, despite the fact that Leshrac was so good here, he was kind of set up for failure by the amount of space that he was required to make for MNZ on his Juggernaut.
Yeah, and like we said, even if Juggernaut has the same items as he does last game, he doesn't have nearly the same amount of impact. You're going against this Night Stalker who Moo itemized great. The Glimmer Cape, Blink, Aghanim Scepter, like you cannot get away from the Crippling Fear. You have the Atos, the control from Viper. Like if he hits you with the Viper Strike, you pop Manta, you're still slowed and silenced. Like you cannot get out of this. And we saw it over and over and over as that combination. They just kept finding heroes. And yeah, Sadboys close it out in our third series of the day, but we still have one more series to go, and it's going to be a fun one. It's Beast Coast versus 5-Man Midas. They're going to be our final series of the day here on the BTS Pro Series Season 4. So, Neph, any final thoughts before we move into the last game? Or the last series, rather?
Very solid performance out of Dedemy playing with all these Dota 2 veterans. Excited to seeing him more in North America and what he's going to bring to the table.
Absolutely. I mean, well said. All right, we'll see you all in our final series after just a short break. Stay tuned for Beast Coast versus 5-Man Midas.